Hey, welcome back to the channel. Subscriber request for the T1 Heavy. Now, if you are struggling with a tank, I am compiling a tips and tricks playlist. Shoot over there. There may be a video I've done for a tank that might be able to help you out. But anyway, going into the T1 Heavy. So the thing about the T1 Heavy is a lot of it comes down to understanding its armor. And the weak part of the T1 Heavy is that kind of lower plate, but when you have enemies that know what they're doing and they use gold or premium ammo, you can see how much more vulnerable you are. Even when you're angled, that lower part of the tank is still weak, even to medium. So that is one thing you have to be very conscientious of when playing the T1 Heavy. Now, I've got two replays here back to back of just games that I just tried quickly doing to put this video out. And right here at the beginning, I'm trying to put myself in on the front lines. I want to get in the action. I'm a heavy tank, so that's where I need to be. So I'm trying to push up here to support my team, really just getting myself in that position where I can put the enemy in a very uncomfortable spot. But the thing while doing so is you can do some side scraping in the T1 Heavy, but here I see my medium is already off to the far right and has cleared that area with spotting. So I'm now going to cut down here through the middle and go try to get to the enemy faster. I need to get into the action. So I'm really trying to get into the battle because I don't want to be too far back. And you'll notice I come across this T1 Heavy and you'll see just how weak that lower plate is. I'm not even using premium ammo or anything like that. It's just the standard AP round, and you can pen that lower plate. Now, I back up. I am kind of in a little bit of a weak, that was a weak spot of me, but you can see just by pulling out right there, the enemies, if they know where to aim, just on that weak spot that I was referring to, they can really get you. So here I'm like trying to, once again, I need to get myself in the action. Our team's kind of falling apart here, but you also notice what I'm doing is I'm also trying to use the landscape for cover, because I'm never like 100% trying to rely on just my armor, which I think a lot of people get overconfident with this armor, and then they end up putting themselves in positions where enemies know where to pen, and then you continually just get shot in that one area and just get ruined. So I know there's enemies behind me, so I'm trying to stay behind these containers so I don't get shot from behind. So being very aware of your surroundings also really helps in a very big and tall tank like this. And I'm trying to help my team. That was kind of a bad shot, but I am looking at the lineup, and we are really falling apart here, and there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm starting to get outnumbered, but you can see, I mean, I am able to bounce some rounds, and I'm trying to angle as much as I can, but now we're just getting closed in on upon, and there's really not just a whole lot. So it's kind of a mix. You have to know when to close in on an enemy and when you need to use more of the landscape, but you do want to be on the front line. So if I'm, a good example of this is if I am against higher tiers, I'm going to be using a little bit more of the landscape, because you'll notice that even tiers, tanks of my same tier using premium or APCR rounds could penetrate me. Now, here in this second replay, once again, trying to get to the front lines, I'm kind of moving with my team, playing that supportive role, going more toward the middle of the map, but keeping myself exposed and in view range of my team. So if I get in trouble, my team can support me as well. I don't want to be in a position that's completely out of view range of them. So I am cutting here a little center, but I'm keeping my speed just so if I do detect someone, I can wiggle and try to maybe hide behind that little hill right here, but we're not detecting anyone, and I'm trying to go from cover to cover to cover. So here I'm trying to quickly kind of move behind the snowbank right here, Still don't see anyone, so this tells me, okay, the enemy is over here on the right-hand side. I go behind this bush here, see if maybe I can detect somebody, but we obviously don't. So I'm now trying to move along just a little bit further on the left-hand side just because I'm a tall tank. If I do get detected, I don't want to be a huge punching bag leaving my side exposed. But here I'm kind of using this hill. I'm wanting to be up on the front lines, and I'm trying to just expose my turret. Now my turret is pretty strong, and I'm able to get some shots here, which puts me in a pretty good position. And you can see, I mean, even that T1 that T1 heavy, like, you know, wasn't able to penetrate me. And so kind of being aware, I see that they're kind of pushing. I can kind of come up on them. But this ARL 44 just really puts me in a bad spot. Unfortunately here, I realize our team is way too spread out. I'm against a tank that's a tier higher than me. He gets smart. He's now, he's really knowing like where to aim on me. And now the enemy is pushing really hard here up on the rear, and we have really no support. But I'm backing up as much as I can, just hoping that my team pushes over here on the side to give me support. It just didn't work. But I wanted to show also that T-34, even that medium tank, was able to penetrate me. You know, he knew where to fire, and if enemies know where to fire on this thing, that little strip in the front of your tank can be pretty weak, and you can get penned. And so I was trying to get to a place that I could back up behind some sort of cover, but I was using just a little bit of that hill just to try to come up on the enemy, but it just kind of fell apart. So the takeaways from the T1 Heavy is you want to do a combination of utilizing the landscape. You also want to be up on the front lines. You can be aggressive with this thing, but you have to be very conscientious about that lower strip that I was showing you in the armor inspector. And then when you do that, that'll really help you with this tank. So anyway, hopefully this helps. Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.